Come on in, pull up a chair, take a load off, because today I am going to unbox and take a first look at Stalingrad 42 from my pals over at GMT Games. So, will you be able to duplicate the Axis advance on Stalingrad, or will the Soviets be able to stop you beforehand? Don't know, but that's what this game is about, and we'll be taking a peek right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. So, as I mentioned in the open, I'm going to unbox and take a first look at the newest war game from GMT Games. It is Stalingrad 42. It is designed by Mark Simonich, with artwork provided by Mark Simonich. So, Mark's doing double duty on this release. It is available right now. It is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in a few hours, depending on the scenario. There are 4 scenarios, including a long campaign that you can jump into. So this is available now. It does carry an MSRP of $75. So let's swing on over to the other camera and get our first look at Stalingrad 42. All right, so we have Stalingrad 42, Southern Russia, June to December 1942 from GMT Games, designed by Mark Simonich. Let's take a look at the back here. This is a 6 out of 9 complexity-wise. So I usually find GMT kind of low balls or complexity a little bit, so I would say this is probably like a 7 out of 10-ish. But it does have medium solitaire suitability. So, Stalingrad 42 is a division-level game on the Axis 1942 summer offensive towards Stalingrad and the Caucasus. This epic 6-month struggle saw the Axis armies reach the Volga and the Caucasus Mountains, but Soviet resistance stiffened, and the final victory eluded the German army at Stalingrad. So, jumping in here, it says features ease of play, accurate order of battle, 3 detailed game maps, rules for blitzkrieg, warfare, offensive planning, sea movement, leaders, city battles, and hidden Soviet buildup. Okay, let's crack this on open here. I did take the shrink wrap off because I was getting a lot of glare. Come on, you, get up, open. There we go. Jeez. A couple of 6-sided dice. Alrighty. We got the rules of play. Let's take a look at this. It's clocking in at 32 pages. So we'll dive on in here. Let's see what we've got. We got our sequence of play. So we got weather phase, Axis player turn. So initial phase, movement phase, combat phase, recovery phase, supply phase. Then the Soviet player turn, which I'm sure they do the same exact things right here. Stacking limits. 2 combat units plus 1 free stacking unit. Axis can have 3 combat units. So Soviets have 2, Axis have 3, plus this free stacking unit. Whatever that might happen to be. Maybe it's like command, headquarters, things like that. Talking about different movement, zone of control, combat modifiers. This has a very traditional kind of hex and counter look to the game, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I've seen plenty of games that had some kind of modern mechanics to them that still have kind of the NATO iconography and things like that. All right. Supply, railheads and railroad repair, resource points, non-combat units, special units. Plenty of illustrations throughout. Got replacements as well as reinforcements and entry areas. Got a weather table. Victory points and automatic victory. I take a guess maybe the Axis win if they automatically take Stalingrad. Advanced rules. So we got reserves, planned offensives, disengagement, leaders, contested city, hexes. We've got campaign game only, the winter offensive. Then we got different scenarios. So we've got 3 scenarios plus campaign. And then we got the index on the back. There we go. So that is the rule book. We also have a playbook. Sweet. I love playbooks. Love the GMT playbooks. So we've got, we're going to start off with a campaign example of play. I tend to read the playbooks before I jump into the rule books. I find it makes learning GMT games so much easier. But, you know, that's just me. All right, so going through, we've got a Caucasus campaign set up and hints on play. So we got an example of play here. Operation Uranus. So we've got the examples here. Then we got design notes, historical notes, and we've got a city battle example. Okay. And then replacement and marker charts. Got that. We've got a cool counter tray, and I say it time and time again, GMT games do not always come with counter trays. I know some people have told me, oh yeah, they do. It's like, no, they don't. So it's a little special to get a counter tray. Although I got to be honest, I have seen more counter trays as of late from GMT. All right, so we've got some play aids here. So we've got a couple of combat results tables, as well as determined defense, advance after combat, isolation. We've got our terrain effects as well. So we've got 2 copies of these. We've also got, let's take a look. Let's pull this stuff on out here. So it looks like we've got unit availability. This kind of looks like orders of battle, depending on what scenario you're playing. So it looks like we've got the axis here. Looks like you might have 2. Might actually have this as the display here. And then we have the other campaigns as well. It's got to be. So, okay, so if you're playing Fall Blau or the campaign game, you're no doubt going to use both of these. And then for the other campaigns, we've got these. And we've got the same thing for the Soviets. So here it looks like we've actually got quite a lot for the Soviets here. So here we go. It's a little bigger. This folds out actually. So right there. So we've got campaign game and Fall Blau. And then Uranus and the Caucasus campaign. Then we've got a turn record track and reinforcement display, depending on the scenario that you're playing. So we've got plenty of player aids there. And then we've got 3 sheets of counters. We'll take a look at the counters last because we've got some maps here. We've got a few paper maps. They do have a finish to them. As I mentioned, I believe these maps are going to be pretty large. So I'm probably not going to be able to get the whole map in. So kind of get an idea of the look. So pretty traditional design for the map. So we've got our turn record track. So that's cool. We got a turn record track on this as well. We got Kharkov. So good size map. So it's really, effectively, it's 2 map sheets, like so. It is not double-sided. It is single-sided. Of course, you'll be busting out your glass or your plexiglass. I have plexiglass. I just use to hold down the paper mats. Even though I'm still a fan of mounted maps, and I know I've talked to some folks who prefer paper mats because of where they live. There's a lot of humidity, so their mounted boards tend to warp. So I completely understand that. So here we got the area around Stalingrad, eliminated Soviet units. So it looks like we've got two sides. So it looks like we would actually use this map as well as this map. This is probably for the campaign. See what else. Then again, we might be using all of this. So let's see what we have here. You know what? I think we're actually gonna be using the whole thing. That is pretty wild. Man, you'll need a lot of table space to be busting this out. We got our victory point track, eliminated Axis units. So nice, very clean map here. So it looks nice. I like it. I do. All right, let's fold this up. And then take a look at this. Wow, boy, oh boy, I tell you. Look at the size of this. And now, okay, so basically we're looking at, we had two of these, right? So that's two of these, and then effectively two more on each of these. So you're looking at six map sheets make up the board, the game board. Okay. Let's take a look at the counters. Quick peek at these. This I'll actually zoom in on, and do want to point out that I do not use a camcorder any longer. I haven't used a camcorder in a while. So there we go. Let me just focus this a touch more. I was out of focus there. There we go. That's pretty sharp. Well, let's see if we can get it. Let's get a little closer in. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. That looks cool. All right, so we've got, as I mentioned, we've got three counter sheets here. So of course we've got the Axis forces here. We've got armor. See, this is what kind of throws me off sometimes with some war games. Is for infantry we'll just have like the NATO iconography, or just the iconography. But then when we get into like aircraft and armor and things like that, then suddenly we get images of the units, and to me it's a little odd that you do that. But yeah, what can I say? I'm not the guy doing the graphics on this stuff. So these are dual sided, of course. Nice thick counters, even though that's out of focus. So here we've got the Soviets, the Soviet units here as well. And then we've got some more Soviet units, as well as we've got informational counters. And both dual sided there, too. Very nice. This is a very sharp looking game. Uh, I, I'll be, the first to admit it's probably going to take a while for me to get this to the table, because really the only player that I game with who really can get into like the meat and potatoes kind of war games, the ones that have a lot of meat to them, is Elliot. So, and don't get the game as much as we'd like. All right, so we've got the three counter sheets. We've got the maps. We've got the unit orders of battle sheets here, both the Soviets and the Axis. We've got two copies of the player aids, combat results table, and terrain charts, as well as a cool counter tray, the playbook, as well as the rules of play, and a couple of six-sided dice. One gray for the Axis and the other red for the Soviets. And that is what we find when we take everything from Stalingrad 42 outside the box. So there's your first look at Stalingrad 42 from GMT Games. I will have further coverage of Stalingrad 42 in the near future. I also want to point out that with most GMT games, if you have any interest in the title, pick it up while you can. GMT does not put together huge print runs, and their games tend to sell out pretty quickly. All right, that's it for this time out. Don't miss me live Mondays through Fridays right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central as I bring you the Daily Dope and the latest tabletop gaming news of the day. Of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell. It'll not only notify you when my live show streams, it'll also tell you when I've uploaded new videos, such as this one. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And I will be back next time. So until then, happy trails. Zoobadoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo. Zoobadoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo. Zabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-bum. Zibba. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of the Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.